come and join us in a moment or two. That's exactly it, Coco. Let's get started. There's an inevitability to the beginning of class, and there's a reason for that. But every time we return to the same exercises, we find ourselves going back into the chi state very easily. Your body remembers how it's felt when we do these exercises before. So it becomes a kind of a shorthand to allow you to find your way back into a chi state. The body instantly recognizes the kind of feeling of what's going on. And so you start to move back into your Qigong way of being, I suppose. So, morning Annette, morning Vivian. Yeah, so one of my major teachers, or major schools, I suppose, because I've never been taught directly by Dr. Pang, but major schools as such, is Chenine Qigong. And Dr. Pang likes to start every exercise off with the 8 phrases. And the 8 phrases does exactly that. Connects you down, connects you out, then brings you back to yourself, puts you into a chi field state. That's the plan also with this morning exercise routine that I use every day. But we start every class off with as well. It's about bringing you back into a place that you can understand, a place that your body understands. It's like a shortcut to a Qigong state. The more you practice it, the more you remember it, the more you jump straight into it, the more you become a Qi person just by gently doing these exercises. So, plenty of roads to the top of the mountain. So, yeah, you know, I like to talk a bit about what's going on. I think that the disturbance in the world causes a general level of disturbance in each of us. And I think that as we move forward through the 20th, 21st century, we're just finding that those disturbances are more and more prevalent, that we're being pushed in so many more directions than we ever expected to be. I think the point is that if you remain fluid, then you can flow round the rocks, the river running gently wears the rocks down. But if you're feeling stuck and feeling upset, then you're always going to bump into the rocks. It's going to tip your canoe over, as it were. And so I find myself about 20% of my being rather upset about the situation of yet another European war. And it's been disturbing me. You know, I've been thinking about what would happen if. I'm fascinated at the levels of misinformation that flow through these events, but it's very easy to get triggered by them. It's very easy to get caught up by them. I was fascinated to hear about, no point in going into that, but it caught my attention that, you know, another side to this story, that for the reasons of war in Ukraine, about there being bioweapon labs in Ukraine that were inventing things, terrible weapons, and how Ukraine's in a massive money laundering center and all sorts of things that you don't really know about. And of course, you realize that the information you get is given to you by the Western media, and the Western media is owned by 1 or 2 people. And so you're getting the story that the West want you to hear. And I'm sure the Russians are getting the story that the Russians want to hear. The Ukrainians probably another story again. So everybody gets a version of the truth, but nobody will ever really know the complete truth. The point is, how does that matter to you? Does it make a difference to you? So if you want to get caught into one of these strands and you want to follow it down the rabbit hole, it can disturb you completely. Or otherwise, can you find a way to make yourself completely see-through as far as this event is concerned, untouched by it? So the one thing that runs through as a common core for all of us is the fear that somebody might press a nuclear button, the fear that somebody might invade, the fear, etc., that our children might, and on it goes. It is just fear, and there is nothing that you can do about it. So if you wish to allow yourself to be ruled by fear, then go ahead. That's your choice, of course, but it's not a very healthy choice from an energy perspective. Fear closes down all options. Fear corners you and stops you from operating. So I had a very interesting experience, having felt this sort of upset running through. I decided to use, as many of you know, I love Ho'oponopono, the Hawaiian healing prayer. And essentially, you repeat the 4 lines. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry. Thank you. I love you. And you just repeat those 4 lines and hold someone in mind. So I decided to hold Mr. Putin in mind. And so I did 2 kilometers of the swimming pool, each stroke. Sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. As I went up and down thousands of times saying this prayer, and came out of the pool at the other end, literally washed clean, feeling that I'd just forgiven the situation as best I could and that I was no longer part of it. It was very powerful for me. It really worked quite well. And it took a lot of the angst away, because there's nothing I can do. I can't phone up Mr. Putin and complain to him about his actions. I can't change the way that America do things that upset other people. I can't change any of those things. The only thing I can change is my relation to those things. And so I decided to do that, and I spent, as I say, an hour swimming up and down the pool, running through this, and eventually emerged baptized, or whatever the imagery is, clean from the water. Although, let's not talk about the cleanliness of the swimming pool, but anyway, that's another story. Okay, so let's slow this down and expand a little bit. Just go a bit slower and a bit longer. So the question is how to make oneself invisible. There's a lovely story where somebody was at a lecture of Dr. Pang, and Dr. Pang was standing on the stage, and behind him on the wall were 2 crossed martial arts swords. And someone standing in front of him took a photograph of him while he was speaking. And in the photograph, it's quite clear that you can see through him. You can see the 2 swords on the wall behind. And Dr. Pang was shown the photograph afterwards and was very upset about it, because basically he said, I should never lose my practice enough to let that happen. But clearly for him, that wasn't something that was extraordinary. The fact that he could basically go a bit invisible was, great. And we often hear these stories about people bilocating. We hear stories about people being able to walk through walls, and it's all kind of like nonsense and rubbish and, crazy martial arts and or whatever it is. But actually, these things do happen and do exist and are possible. It's a funny story that I was teaching class one day in the dojo, and my wife and son were sitting at home watching TV, and both of them saw me walk through the room. They both turned around and went, "Did you just see Jeremy?" They completely freaked out because they thought I was dead. But odd things happen. I'm not dead, by the way, just in case you're wondering. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Strange chi events. But the fact of the matter is that if you see yourself as being a solid event in time, then that's pretty much how it will be. If you see these things as affecting you, as hitting you. You switch on the TV news and you feel that kind of thump in your chest as some terrible news story rolls out. You feel the angst in your heart as they show you some pictures of poor people. If you're letting it hit you, if you're letting it affect you, then yeah, it's going to have a mechanical, material, chemical effect on your body. But if you're standing from a point of consciousness and looking at the whole event as just being part of the machinations of humanity, part of the way that we learn, part of the way we grow, then it has a completely different weight. So if what you're feeling is deeply disappointed by humanity, then that's going to lower your own vibration. If what you're thinking is, ho hum, here we go, this is just it, this is just how life works, then that's fine as well. So just be aware of your reactions to all of these things. Ask yourself, can I directly do anything about that? Okay, so if you decide that what you want to do is to give £100 to DEC and they'll send some relief off to Ukraine, that's fine, something that's done. But don't agonize about it. Don't keep going with it. Don't allow it to constantly be your life. Don't tune into the news bulletins all the time. Don't engage. Be like water. Allow these things to flow through you. There's nothing you can directly do. Well, I don't know, perhaps you can drive to Ukraine and grab a gun. I'm not suggesting that's a good idea. I think that's part of your life. So I think my feeling about these things is that it's really important for us to find a way to allow the blows to pass you by. And Colin, who's on this call, is one of our Tai Chi masters, will know all about moving so that a blow doesn't hit you. It's about not being there when the person tries to land the blow. It's about moving and shifting yourself so that you no longer come in contact with the strike from your opponent. So if you don't allow it to hit you, then how can it affect you? If you turn yourself to water, then these things go straight through you. Do whatever you feel is right, but do it and let it be done and move away from it. Forget it. If at the next moment you feel the action should be, right, I'm going to go off and raise money for children in Africa, that's fine. Do it and then forget it and then move on. But listen to your mind, listen to your body, listen to your heart and decide what's right for you. If a situation's beyond your control, let it go. The only thing you can do is fix you, and that's what we're here to do today, is to fix ourselves. Okay, let the whole thing slowly draw to a completion. Bit by bit, we slow down. Let's gather chi from the earth and lift up. Let the chi pour through you. Draw down through you. Gathering again. And pouring. Just gather. And pour. Just for a moment, draw your hands back to your belly. Just allow the chi to gather deep inside. So that was quite an intensive session of turning the waist. And it can sometimes kind of wobble the chi and get it moving. But now we stand for a moment and really draw the chi back into our center. As you stand here, imagine yourself dissolving, becoming a chi person. Just needs a simple microscope to see that inside each of your cells is nothing but more space. Inside of each of the atoms, millions of bits. It's just space inside. Everything is space. This seems so real. The event seems so directed, so painful. Let it go. Let it go straight through you. Don't take these things on. There's a little insight for you. We're just coming up towards spring now. Spring is the liver time of the body. Liver is all about anger. So in springtime, energy rises in your body. So the movement of spring is upward growth. But it can also mean the movement of chi upwards in your body, anger rising. And when we think about anger rising, we think about people getting angry, we think about their flushed red face as they shout away. And their faces go bright red. Well, that's blood from the liver raising upwards in the body. Sometimes we say, he who is seeing red. You know, when you're so angry, you see red. And that's it, is this idea that blood flushes upwards into your face, into your eyes, you know, full whole body kind of emotion of anger as the anger rises. Well, if your liver chi is in balance, then that keeps you in balance. And when the spring energy rises, your body benefits from it. But if all of your focus is already on anger, then your liver's already out of balance. And that's going to draw up problems. It's going to make the anger bubble over. So just be aware for the next month or two of your anger. Keep it calm. Keep it under control. Just know that you just being you is good enough. Being steady, being centered, being calm, that's what's really important in life. If you remain in balance, the people around you will remain in balance. You affect the people immediately around you. So there's a ripple effect that comes from you, like a stone dropped into the center of a pond. You give off vibrations of calm. People feel steady and calm because of your presence. Same story with anger. If you're shouty and angry, then that vibrates out into your life. So let's just be steady and calm today. Let's be steady and calm this week. Let's stay steady and calm when we contemplate these world problems. Detach yourself gently from them. See them for what they are, just part of the story. Just remember, you are not your story. Okay, let's go and do our forward bends then. So we can gently just drift down into a forward bend. Relax your way, soften your knees. Just let the body hang here easily. Extend softly towards your toes. And then release. In line with the roots of your toes. And then release. Towards your insteps. And release. Back towards your heels. Relax and release, body hangs. Tailbone lifts up behind and the tailbone pushes to the front. Curl the spine up. Head, arms, and ears gently come up. Body straightens up, stretching up into the blue sky. Releasing knees and hips forward as you lean back. Stretching up, gently back. Stretching up, gently back. Up and back. Hands up in the blue sky. Just do some side bends here. Gently down the left side. Switch hands over. Gently down the right side. Left. And right. And then just bring the right hand up. Good. Let's drift over again. So just gently going over. Relaxing the way down. Back of the neck relaxes, body hangs. Nice and easy relaxation. Extending softly towards the toes. And release. Roots of your toes. And release. Insteps. And release. Back towards the heels. Release and relax. Lift the tailbone up behind. Push the tailbone to the front. Curl spine up. Head, arms, and ears gently come up. Stretch up to the blue sky. Hips and knees move forwards. You lean back. Up. And gently back. Up. And gently back. Up. And gently back. Hands into the blue sky. Curl the left hand down. Switch over. Right hand curls down. Left hand down. Right hand curls down. And then bring the right hand up. Okay, so let's do this with straight legs then. Tipping over, head, arms, ears, legs stay straight. Let the body relax now. Straight legs, weight softly forward in your toes. Extend gently towards the toes. And release. Roots of your toes. And release. Insteps. And release. And heels. Relax and release. Tailbone lifts up behind. Tailbone pushes to the front. Spine rolls up. Head, arms, and ears gather up. Stretch up into the blue sky. Left hand curls down. Right hand down. Left hand down. Right hand down. And then right hand comes up. Okay, last time through. Head, arms, and ears. Let the body relax and hang. Nice and easy. Tummy tucks in. Extend softly towards your toes. And release. In line with the roots of your toes. Release. In line with your insteps. And release. Back to your heels. Body relaxes and hangs. Lift the tailbone, push the tailbone to the front, curl the spine up, head, arms, and ears curl up, drop to full height, stretch up. Knees and hips go forward. You lean back, stretching up and gently back. Up and back. Up and back. Up into the blue sky. Left hand down. Right hand down. On the left. On the right. Draw the hands up into the blue sky. Allow the chi just to pour over the crown of the head. Release shoulders, elbows, wrists, hands down over the crown of the head. Gently down the center line of your body, drawing chi down to the belly. Really locating chi deep inside. And then just release the hands and gather chi a few times. Moving the chi through a chi body. Chi hands inside chi body. Gently drawing the chi down through the legs. Moving on down into the ground. Do that 2 or 3 more times at your own speed. Just draw the hands back down to the belly. I'm just going to open a window if you hold on a moment. We'll just end up with the hands on the belly and just relax there for a few moments. Again, drawing chi back inside. Okay, gently bring the feet together into the Chenine Posture. Relax the hands down by your sides. As you stand, open up Yong Quan on the sole of your feet. Just imagine you can connect out into the outside world. From the outside world, draw chi back in through Yong Quan on the sole of your foot. Allow the chi to flow up your legs, drawing energy up to Hoi Yin between your legs, moving up into the belly. So we have this intimate connection with the earth below. Hoi Yin gathers the earth chi up and then brings the chi up into your belly. As you stand here, arms just hanging down by your sides, you can allow Lao Kung on the palm of your hand to open, center of the palm of the hand. Imagine gathering chi in up the center of your arms, all the way up to Jianjing, your shoulder well. And then imagine the chi pours down to the middle energy field, down into the belly. So now we have these 4 channels, chi flowing up the legs into the belly, chi flowing up the arms to the shoulders and down into the belly. And of course, the 5th channel, which is from Bai Hui on top of the head, down through the upper energy field, down to the middle energy field, down into the belly. So open Bai Hui on top of your head. Imagine that wide open. Chi pouring down the center line of your body. So as you stand here, body wide open. It's not just a gathering exercise, of course. It's also a releasing exercise. So this is why when we do our push and pull in Lift You Up and Pull You Down, the idea is to push and let go from deep inside and pull, draw chi back in. But that still suggests an inside and an outside. We have to even go beyond that idea. So this idea of dissolving yourself into chi is really important. For what is there really of you? There's this sort of crazy idea that you could see, I forget the absolute story, that the amount of molecules that make up our planet, you could fit into a cube, this a meter square or some crazy, I forget, something crazy like that. The idea that everything is so massively ephemeral, it seems so extraordinarily real to us. But the fact is that we are just atoms and molecules moving in space. This kind of standing wave is the idea. The idea that the wave holds you in place, but actually you're still part of the ocean. So how do you make yourself invisible? It's a practical question. What do you need to do to make yourself invisible? As you stand here, perhaps with your eyes shut, you can just imagine what was once very solid starts to become a bit see-through. Just imagine that light can pass through your body. Well, it's not a hard thing to imagine, because when we think about radio waves, we've been bathed in radio waves for 125 years, and they've just been going straight through our bodies. When we think about, X-rays, MRI scans, airports, all those sort of things, those waves just go straight through you. And that, of course, is a really important tip for those of you guys who are having kind of MRI scans and that kind of thing, CT scans and so forth, is to not take on anything from that technology. When you're heading through an airport and they're saying, you must be scanned through these machines, make yourself truly invisible. Allow those beams to pass straight through you. Take on nothing from their technology. So we know that this technology is both a blessing and a curse. As with everything, there's black and white, yin and yang. But you can be the midpoint, the balance in all of these things. And so if you're going to your MRI scan thinking, oh, I don't want to go into that thing, the magnetic effect of it, the blah, 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 it's going to be really bad for me. Sure, that's what will happen. Be careful of what you wish for. And if you go to your scan and just think, oh, it's great, like a summer breeze, not going to have any effect on me at all. And that's exactly what will happen. The same is true of the news stories that are coming to us just now, of the upset and turmoil that appears to be affecting our lives. How do you make yourself invisible? How do you really dissolve not only the physicality of you, but also the stories of you? What do you need to do that? I remember Lewin Ling talking about on one of the lectures. He drew up on a board a dotted outline, like a sort of murder scene where you'd sort of see the dotted outline of where the patient was, where the murdered person was lying on the floor. It's that kind of, here's the dotted outline of you. It's kind of dot, dot, dot down your arms, dot, dot, dot down your legs. That's it. So that's you, where you once were, the vague outline of you before you dissolved yourself. This is this phrase, kung kung dan dan, huang huang hu hu, which translates as empty yet not empty. It's a little sort of koan style idea. What is empty but not empty? How do you make yourself empty but not empty? What do you need to do in your mind's eye? Perhaps you can just imagine, or if you even want to do it, with your eyes closed, you could lift your hand up in front of your eyes and just imagine you can see straight through your hand, see straight through your arm. You can gaze down at your body, but eyes are still closed. And imagine you can gaze all the way inside your body, through your body. Imagine your legs. You can see straight through them. Perhaps you need to make yourself a cartoon X-ray or a Tom and Jerry lightning strike where you see that kind of, and then you just see the skeleton inside. Perhaps you need to imagine your body turning into water. Be like water. Why not? Perhaps you want to make the dotted outline of where you once stood, and then dissolve everything inside that dotted outline. You don't have to disappear from this world. It's not what we're saying. We're saying being here, being present, but being invisible. Practice invisibility. Practice walking through a train station as invisible. Practice being in the supermarket and being invisible. Practice hearing the news, letting it flow straight through you. Invisibility is not a replacement for compassion. Invisibility is not a way of getting away from your commitments. Invisibility is a way of dealing with the 21st century, not letting the arrow hit the target. The arrow goes straight through the target, off somewhere else. Do not be a target. Do not allow yourself to get hit. Don't get hit by doctors' cruel pronouncements. Don't get hit by ideas from Google or Dr. Google. Don't get hit by news bulletins. Don't get hit by unkind things that family members might say to you. Don't get hit by, I don't know, your children's comments or lack of connection. Be like water. These things just flow through. Every drama is likely to add weight to your life. Don't let it. Teflon coated. Like some of these dodgy politicians who never seem to get caught for anything. That's how you're going to be now. Completely see-through, completely untouchable. Just imagine yourself standing here, totally dissolved into the chi field, at one with the chi field. So once we've completely dissolved our body into chi, now we can start to think about the consciousness aspect of it. How are we going to change things that we no longer need? So we see how easy it is to dissolve the solidity of the body. What about the problems? Why not let go of those too? So, what's the story today? You know, oh, my neck's a bit sore, my back hurts, I've got sore knees, my ankles are sore. That's just a pattern that's been set up, something that's been held in place. I've got cancer, I've got heart disease, I've got diabetes, I've got hypertension, whatever it might be. A story you've been told about what's going on with the physicality of your body. Change the physicality, change the story. But also change the story, change the physicality. What stories pin you in place today? Let's take a story about ourselves and dissolve it. Open your hands slowly to the sides. When you bring back, just bring back emptiness. Space for a new you. When you move your hands open, that old story about illness, that old story about being unlovable, unwanted, unworthy, unhealthy, just let it go. That's somebody else's story, not yours. Bring together and draw a new story in. Healthy, happy, lovable, beautiful. So it's a very simple process. Those things you've been told, that's somebody else's story. Let it go. Gently draw your hands back together. We bring in a new possibility, new future, new way of being, new you. So Robert, who a lot of you will know from class, tells a story of a friend of his. We met in Sanya. And basically this lady had gone to the doctors and the doctor said, it's bad news, you've got cancer. She went home and cried and thought about it. And then she went back to the doctor and said, you gave me cancer and I don't want it. You can have it back and I'm not coming back again. She gave him the cancer back. She went home. And 20 years later, she's still cancer free. Interesting, isn't that? The power of somebody else's story. What does it do to you? Do you want it anymore? Do you want that story that says that you're not good enough, not clever enough, not happy enough, not healthy enough, not beautiful enough? Do you want that story anymore? You know, we hold so many stories because we think our parents want to do it. You know, we think our grandparents want it of us, expect it of us. We think that our partners or our lovers or our children expect things of us. That's their story. That's something that you've made up. How are you going to break that? If it's something you've made up for yourself, it's very powerful. So we have these stories that we're told by other people. The doctor says this is going to be wrong with you. But we also have the stories we've told other people about ourselves. I'm going to protect you all of my life. I'm going to be the breadwinner. I'm going to be the best wife, husband, son, father, mother, blah, blah, blah. We make up these stories. Sometimes we overcommit ourselves. Sometimes life changes and we no longer want to be that person. So that's something you made up. That's a mask you chose to put on. You have to be able to let that go too. I've said it before. We judge other people very harshly, whilst we let ourselves off amazing things. We set our standards incredibly high, and then we're disappointed when other people won't live up to our expectations. Those are things that we have set for ourselves, barriers we've created between ourselves and life. And then we go ahead and let ourselves off, and we criticize other people for not being good enough. Tell a little white lie to make a situation easier. And then when somebody else is caught telling a white lie, you nail them and you shout at them and you, how dare you do that? Blah, blah, blah. Knowing full well that you do it yourself all the time. How do we change this interaction? Dig deep into your soul. Gently expand and open that part of you. When you draw your hands back together again, you can rebuild the person you wish to be in reality, whatever reality is. We gently open our hands and feel the dissolving effect of this idea. When we draw our hands back together again, it's only good chi we're bringing back. You don't have to think of what replaces it. I realize that we're standing in a sort of feet together posture. You can stand in a wider posture wherever you wish to be. I was going to run through a whole opening, but then I've just lost the impetus. So we're just standing or sitting or lying down, and we're just gently manipulating our stories. Gently moving the hands apart, gently drawing the chi back in. I was in a little town in China, and out in the streets, they were making sweets. They were making a kind of toffee. Huge, stretchy ball of toffee. It would have been about, I don't know, maybe a kilo of toffee. You can imagine it in this soft, pliable state, like hot glue or something like that. The guy had two beautiful sort of wooden sticks, and he was stretching the toffee apart and opening space up, aerating it, and then bringing it back together and twisting it and turning it, and then opening it up again. And it was exactly this idea, making space and opening up. He was doing qigong while he was making toffee, and then bringing it all back in to the center. And so this is what we do as we stand in our posture, as we sit in our posture. It doesn't matter. There are no rules. It doesn't matter how you stand, how you sit, how far you move your hands. What's really important is how you feel about this process. At the deepest level of you, let go of the anchors that pin you down in your life. Bring back something good. You don't have to know what it is. You don't need to be told the good information. You don't need to say, oh, I'm letting go of this relationship and I'm bringing in the perfect person for me who looks like this, 6 foot tall, blah, 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 blah. Just open and allow there to be space in your life. And bring back good energy into your life. Draw chi into your life that serves you. Feel that letting go and opening. Feel the opening that it brings. Populate your entire existence with this new chi. So think about that possibility. You could perhaps gesture, the lifting up chi and the pouring down chi. But now you can imagine this fresh new energy coming all the way through your body, through every aspect of your body, every aspect of your life, drawing it through every cell of your body, through every part of your being, through every relationship in your life. So it's quite nice to use kai and her, and then gather or just draw back. You can just let a particular idea dissolve as you say kai. Her will bring back fresh chi. Perhaps you want to take your hands onto your belly now and let the hands set there and just absorb all this incredible new chi. Allow it to take place in your life. Allow it to form new ways of being, new healthy ways of being, happy images in your life. So I think that sometimes, in kind of Western spirituality, we're told that we need to make a mood board, give ourselves ideas, cut out our perfect looking partner, car, house, yacht, desert island, etc., etc. And so we see these images every day and we think, oh, that's it. I'm going to attract that and manifest it. No, it's just too wrong. It just does not work. It just leads to disappointment. It just sets up unreal expectation. It's very simple. Open the hands. The old story dissolves back out into the chi field, creating space in your life. We gather this chi deep inside. Every cell of the body benefits from this chi. Bring your hands onto your belly and just let that sit there. This invisible space that you fill. Just start to allow the chi to connect and collect wherever it's required in this body. So we're building the body new. It's like receiving a massive Lego set through the post. And you open up your box and you start to think, oh, what am I going to build? Build something new for yourself today. You have all the composite parts, all the power of the chi field, all this amazing new energy. What do you choose to do with it? You could put it back together exactly as it was before. Fair enough, up to you. But what would be the point of that? So better that you choose to do something new with it. It might be something as enormous as your marriage, and the whole thing dissolve. Maybe it's your relationship to your work. Let's open a bit more. Maybe it's your relationship to your illness. Maybe it's your relationship to the past. Relationship to your family. Maximum open. There cannot be a more open state. Open everywhere. Open every aspect. Open every aspect of your life, your being. We'll say her about half a dozen times, just slowly bringing chi back into the body, back into our lives. You don't know what chi it is. You don't care what chi it is. It's just good, healthy chi. No right, no wrong. No correct way to gather. One more. Bring yourself back to your belly and just let the chi go out. So you're reforming a whole new version of you. Jeremy 2.0, version 2 of Jeremy. Although if I'm honest with you, it'll be about version 7,893,000. Been rebuilding for a long time. That feels nice. Let's just dissolve again. Let's take about half a dozen kais to really open out till there's just nothing left at all. and then half a dozen to bring us back down again. Okay, so opening. Keep opening. Open more. More. This is when we discover the true meaning of more is less. Nothing. Nothing. Everything. Just chi. Nowhere. Nowhere. Now, here. Let's draw ourselves back one final time. Maybe you can just land your hands on your belly. Start to experience your new self. Feel the potential for change. Feel the potential, things to move deep inside you. Feel that you are still invisible and yet visible. So you put together this new chi body. Apparently, you to everybody around you. But now, totally permeable you. Comments go straight through. Bad news stories don't touch you. The words of professionals, doctors, lawyers, etc., mean nothing. Just vibrations that go straight through your body. Be like water all the way through your life. Flow easily. this new form of you, this new way of being, no longer needs illness, no longer needs problems. Just relax with it. Stay with it. Just make it your choice today to carry this version of you on into your life. So it's not just something to do on a Wednesday morning with Jeremy. It's now a lifestyle choice, a way of being. That will protect you every day, that will connect you every day. New you, new start, new life. Okay, so just let the hands gently down by your sides. We can just step on chi, bring our feet back together again. We can close out from here. Just allow these chi hands to gently move up into the prayer position in front of your heart. Whilst you're here, connect deep inside your heart. One of the first things we tend to do is close our hearts down. It's the easiest form of protection when things are going badly. Big shutters thrown closed across your heart. A breastplate like a knight in shining armor. But unfortunately, this breastplate is protecting you from ever feeling anything. So with the hands here, gently dissolve the armor around your heart. Gently open the doors of your heart. It is safe for you to love. And repeat that again. It is safe for you to love. Do you know why? Because you give wholeheartedly. And anything that comes back that is not needed will just go straight through you. Because now you are like water. You receive what you choose to receive. Things that nourish your heart, you grab and fill your heart with. Things that upset your heart, just go straight through. Do not touch you. So allow your heart to be open. Allow your love to flow in abundance. And receive love in return. And just know that you are worthy of it. And then draw the hands up in front of the face. Gently hands up over the crown of the head. Extend up into the blue sky and feel a column of chi all the way from your body into the blue sky, all the way from the blue sky through your body. Allow the hands just to drift down. Allow your knees to soften a little bit. Open up little fingers, ring fingers, middle fingers. Split the hands apart in a great wide arc. Gently allowing your hands down to shoulder height. We scoop and gather chi round to the front. Shoulder height and width, we just point back at the third eye and imagine your whole brain filling up with this amazing energy. Apadantian chi, abundant. Blood and chi flowing well through your brain and all functions of your brain sharp, clear, total clarity, working well. We drift the elbows back, let the hands come underneath the arms, lightly touch da bao. So just press onto this point underneath the armpit and imagine sending chi deep inside the center of your body. So we fill up this energy field with energy, and that flows into your lungs, into your heart, spleen, pancreas, liver, kidneys. All the major organs benefit hugely from this chi. So fill up this middle field and feel all the energy in the organs, blood and chi flowing well. All of the functions of your organs returning to perfect working order. And then we just drift the hands behind us. The back of the hands move forwards. You just turn the palms over, make a big sweep. Imagine sending energy out into the universe, and then you draw some back for yourself. So traditionally, it'd be left hand first for guys, right hand first for ladies. That doesn't really matter these days. It's whatever suits you. You draw the hands back onto the belly, touch the belly, and just connect deep inside. This lower energy field, the lower of the three energy fields, is the strongest, the biggest. You fill it with chi and it supports all of your life function. So as you stand with your hands here or sit with your hands here, lie with your hands here, you can imagine the chi flowing up your spine, all the way up into your brain, illuminating your brain, your neck and your shoulders, illuminating all the way down your arms to your fingertips. Imagine the whole spine lit with chi, your ribs lit with chi, all the way down into your tailbone, hips and pelvis, all the way down into your thighs, knees, calves, ankles, and feet. The whole of your torso filled with chi, an abundance of energy in every cell of your body, and every cell of the body returning to perfect working order. But also the stories, all of them in place, all of them seen for what they are, all of the ones we don't need dissolved, all of the patterns replaced by good energy, all functions returning to perfect working order. You have changed your destiny just by changing your mind. All functions normal. All functions of your body normal. Let's turn 3 lovely circles around the belly. That just helps us gather chi. Any excess chi comes to be stored here in the belly. Then we'll go 3 circles in the opposite direction. That just sends signal to the body. Right, getting back used to normal life, getting back ready to go outside, getting back, hold all this chi, store this chi, but also set up this protective shield around me. So we have just around our skin, the Wei Chi layer. It's the sort of first line of defense, as it were. And then round out your chi body. You can imagine a meter in every direction, a meter above you, below you, to the front and back. This incredible chi body that protects you. Feeling yourself totally protected inside this wonderful chi shield. Being of light, filled with energy, every cell in your body working well. Everything changing exactly as is required. You able to be invisible at a moment's notice. Never taking on rubbish that's no longer needed. Be like water. Big smile. Let the hands gently down by your sides. Slowly open your eyes. A brand new you, brand new person. Shake out hands, feet. Shake out whatever you need to. Stretch out whatever you need to. And then we should say Haola to confirm all this. 3 times Haola. Hands up in the air. 1, 2. Haola. 1, 2. Haola. Last time. 1, 2. Haola. Oh, lovely to see you all today. Have a wonderful
Thank you, Jeremy. Have a nice day, guys.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you very much. Very good.